This is Glow in the Dark Radio. The science fiction podcast with original independent science fiction written and performed by Mike Luoma, with music by Kevin MacLeod. The Vatican Assassin Trilogy and The Adventures of Alibi Jones by Mike Luoma are available in ebook, trade paperback, and audiobook wherever you find your books online. Get links and details at glowinthedarkradio.com. This is the Science Fiction Podcast, Glow in the Dark Radio. I'm your host, your writer and reader, Mike Luoma, and I've got Chapter 20 of Alibi Jones and the Sunrise of Her coming up on this episode. Alibi Jones is on the planet Kismet, where he's been told he's a dead man. He's disguised as an alien Dakhur and visiting as part of their delegation. Alibi's former friend, Kit, is being held by the planet's overlord, the owner of the place, crime lord Rene Laveillur, who plans on executing him. Kit's father, Dakhur, and brother, Kat, have led this Dakhur delegation to Kismet, ostensibly to try to negotiate the release of Kit, so far unsuccessfully. But Alibi is working to free Kit from Laveillur's clutches, illegally, so to speak. And Alibi is hoping he can also free his girlfriend, Katie Ramsey, as she's also being held by Laveillur on Kismet. There are, of course, some complicating factors at play. We'll catch up with what's going on Kismet as Alibi Jones plots to free Katie and Kit. Coming up in Chapter 20 of Alibi Jones and the Sunrise of Her on Glow in the Dark Radio. Well, in book news, I have, unfortunately, some bad book news. Most paperback prices are going up, and not just for my books, but I'm talking about in general. But my books will be going up soon. But yeah, it's not just me and my books, but I do want to let you know it's about to happen, and it will be happening to my books. August 1st seems to be when we'll see the increases kick in for the most part. As I said, this isn't the kind of book news I like to share, but figure maybe if I give you this heads up, you might have a couple of weeks to pick up print books before they go up in price. So, wanted to give you that heads up that is happening. I also wanted to say a big thank you to patrons for supporting this podcast, because now more than ever, with prices going up on all kinds of things, hosting and website hosting and podcast hosting, all these prices creeping up steadily, I need the help of patrons, and I cannot thank you enough for being a patron, if you are, and for supporting the podcast. And if you'd like to become one, you can do it for just $2 a month, or $5 a month, or $10 a month. The place to go to find out more about doing that is Patreon, Patreon. They handle all the financial aspects of this. That's patreon.com/glowinthedarkradio to become a patron and support the podcast. You don't have to. It's all voluntary, but it is a way to help me keep things going, and I do appreciate those of you who do. Coming up next, we're going to get into Chapter 20 of Alibi Jones and the Sunrise of Her on Glow in the Dark Radio.
Wake up, go to work. Work. Come home. Eat dinner. Rot your brain out. Go to bed. Lather. Rinse. Repeat. Are you tired of an old humdrum life? Tired of things that just weigh you down and depress you? Wouldn't you rather just focus on things that are awesome? Tune into Nutty Bites. Find out what's awesome. Nutty Bites. nimlas.org/blog.
here's Chapter 20 of Alibi Jones and the Sunrise of Her on Glow in the Dark Radio. Peterson! Laveillur bellows, calling out for his right-hand man, his chubby face red with anger and effort. Laveillur leans forward to open a comm channel he had temporarily muted. I am sorry, friend. I've just received a report that troubles me and requires my immediate attention. I don't want to waste your time, as I know it is precious to a scientist like yourself. We can speak of the, artifact again some other... What? You will? I'm flattered. Well, yes, it is hard to get a secure beam like this. Thank you for waiting. This won't take long. Laveillur sucks in a lungful of air to let out another yell. Peterson! Peterson strides into the lavish office atop Circle Bay Casino and walks up to Laveillur's desk. A cool, detached part of his brain always appreciates the view of Circle Bay from Laveillur's office. Laveillur sits with his back to the bay. He seems to prefer the other wall's monitor screens. Peterson suppresses a thought about the sublime and the ridiculous, and addresses his bellowing boss. Rene, you called me? What the fuck is going on with the fucking Dakhur? Laveillur fires the question at the man. Why do we have cat people running around the fucking detention area? I just got a report. The place is crawling with them. Interrupted an important comm conversation I'm having. You gave them visiting rights, Rene. Then take them away, Laveillur yells. Fuck this Dakhur shit. Rakkar will not be pleased, Peterson points out. You may make it harder to get them to agree later to the trade exchanges you desire. Shit, Laveillur spits. You're right. Why do you have to be right all the time, eh, Peterson? It gets annoying sometimes. Well, Rene, you know, I don't mean to annoy you. Fine, fine. Tell Rakkar he can visit, but no one else, or him and his immediate family. Those are the restrictions now, Rene. The Dakhur claim to have large families. God damn it, Laveillur swears as he thinks. Then tell him he can go visit in there with one. Now, 2 other cat people at a time. No more. I don't want them trying to fucking pull something. I will tell him, Peterson says, trying not to sigh and piss off his boss. Good. Go take care of that. Tell them to go empty their litter boxes or some fucking thing. I don't care, Laveillur says. Consider it done, Rene, Peterson assures the fat man. He gives Laveillur a nod, and then turns and walks from the room. Laveillur leans forward and again reopens the comm. Thank you for your patience, my friend, Laveillur purrs, oozing obsequience. The matter at hand is now well in hand. So, let us get back to our matters. I must admit, I am surprised to hear from you again. Well, I did hear through the grapevine that you and Mr. Finder found the item we had both been pursuing. Ah, so it is true. You wouldn't happen to want to sell the... No? Laveillur grimaces, but maintains his happy tone. No, I didn't think you would, but I had to ask. So then, why do you call? Oh, really? The slaver belt? We weren't actually sure it even truly exists. You do? And you are willing to work out some sort of exchange for it? Excellent. What do you think it is worth? Oh. The amount named causes Laveillur to pause, but only for a moment. The slaver belt is a worthy prize, another remnant of the powerful past, another toy left by the ancient enemy. If it performs as advertised, it gives its wielder nothing less than complete control over other beings. Laveillur gets a thrill, a chill, and a hard-on as he thinks about being able to possess another person entirely. He could literally fuck himself. That sum can be arranged, Laveillur says. Although I am surprised you do not keep the belt for yourself. I guess that the first item fulfills... Yes, no need for it then. Well, I do collect these things, as you know. But why me? We do? A common enemy, you say, Mr. Hazumet. Oh, yes, I do know of this Alibi Jones. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, Azumet says to Laveillur over the comm. If this artifact helps you to destroy him, even better. I have the artifact I need, Mr. Laveillur. When can we meet to consummate this transaction? Azumet listens, as the fat, pale Echo wheezes his weak response. Yes, I understand. It will take some time to gather the resources, Azumet answers. A month? Fine. We can pick the time and place when you are ready to meet. Good day, Mr. Laveillur. Come off. Azumet leans back from the comm unit. An evil grin curls up the corners of his mouth and stretches across his face. Stupid fool, Azumet says to a servant standing beside him, awaiting any orders his master might have. Azumet laughs. He'll be wearing the slaver belt after our meeting. These humans are so simple-minded. Such weak specimens. Pale echoes of us, truly. The servant cocks his head to the side, but cannot speak. I did not lie to the man. I have no use for the slaver belt. Not currently, anyway. The travel chair, however, that is another story. Azumet steeples his fingers in front of his chest as he continues his ruminations. The chair is made of useful pieces, technology I need to bring the people back to life. The bodies I've made are not perfect, but nearly so. Close enough to risk the return. Azumet rises from the chair before the comm unit, causing the servant to dodge. I'll use the travel chair to bring them back, then use the slaver belt to take over Kismet, to give us a base. I, for one, am tired of floating in the void, Azumet says with a flourish. The servant grunts, confused. Maybe I should make some of you that can talk, Azumet says to the small blue creature, though I don't want to make you too smart. Those old servants, those Eldrit got out of control. Ah, well, we made them that way. Might as well be talking to myself. Azumet leaves the living space of his vessel and makes his way down the length of his ship to the main lab on board. This body has been suitable, Azumet says to himself. He is pleased, feeling the body's muscles flex as he saunters down the ship's corridor. The bodies he is creating have gotten better, and he is still Azumet. Born for the first time long ago, reborn more recently, and born again a few times more since. Azumet is certain each new body he is reborn into, each new form, is a little closer to perfection, to a form like the body he once had of old. Growth tanks line the walls of the lab, 20 on each long side and 8 on the narrower ends. Each tank is filled with a translucent blue gel. In the gel in each tank grows a human-looking body, some small fetuses, others fully grown men and women. The bodies twitch and vibrate ever so slightly in the gel as bioelectric shocks stimulate tissue growth and muscle toning. The floor of the lab is filled by 4 operating theater clusters, 4 tables surrounded by Azumet's newly fashioned, but ancient in theory, medical high technology and instruments of torture. One of the tables is empty. Human corpses, the tops of their skulls removed, are prone upon 2 of the other tables. Azumet strides over to the 4th table, where his most recent human specimen is stretched out. The man is still alive, but the top of his skull has been removed. An intricate network of fiber-thin wires leads in a bundle from Azumet's machines on the side to the interior of the man's brain, where the leads spread out like a plate of angel hair pasta perched on top of his open skull. Azumet knows there is a language, a message, hidden in humankind's DNA. The ancient enemy used DNA to carry their species on into the future, when their race was being wiped out. Azumet and the other elite scientists of his race programmed starseeds to carry their DNA into the stars when their homeworld was destroyed. Then they sent their bioenergetic matrices ahead into the future The ancient enemy had discovered the secret of time travel employing tachyons. But they could not move physical material through time, only their energies. In effect, a vast number of the greatest minds of the final generation of the race others called the ancient enemy gambled and abandoned their physical bodies to catapult their very minds and souls ahead through time. The human race are the indirect offspring of the ancient enemy. One of their DNA-laced starseeds landed on Earth, and ancient enemy DNA helped to create the human race. Though some races sought to destroy humankind, and others sought to exploit the human race, ultimately humanity grew, evolved, and developed into its own entity, its own separate life form. As had been planned by the scientific elite of the ancient enemy over 1 million years ago, Azumet was the first to emerge from the trans-time travel, possessing the body of a minor criminal in the present day. He began experimenting on human subjects, attempting to extract the original DNA coding of the ancient enemy's race from, as Azumet saw it, the now degraded and devolved human stock. Using this purified DNA, Azumet began creating clones, attempting to reconstruct the original bodies of the ancient enemy, to make new bodies in which the time-traveling scientific elite of the ancient enemy can land. He had gotten rather far along in his original experiments when the meddling human Alibi Jones interfered with and messed up his plans. The only positive side, as Azumet saw it, was that he was able to extract Jones's DNA, and the young man's DNA was slightly more evolved than the average human being's, slightly purer and closer to the ideals sought by Azumet. This has enabled Azumet to create improved potential host bodies for those of the ancient enemy elite still traveling through time. The challenge of late has been creating a receiver, a focusing device, for the trans-temporal energy matrices of those traveling time using the ancient enemy's tachyon-driven technology. Getting the human finder to find the travel chair of Inokata was an enormous help. The fact that he got Alibi Jones to retrieve it was beautiful irony. Alibi Jones, helping to bring the downfall and enslavement of his race, if all goes according to plan. Azumet chuckles to himself as he thinks of the future redomination of the universe by the people. It will go according to plan. I will not fail. Not this time. Not now that he has the travel chair. The materials, the constructs available to him, those things made in this time, do not possess the strength, the built-in energies that items made by the ancient enemy once did. The energy conduits of this day are paltry. None would be capable of carrying the sort of power, the kind of energies Azumet once worked with, once had at his disposal as an elite scientist of the people. Even if the conduits were made of stronger stuff, the energy generation technology of these primitives is incapable of creating the power Azumet is used to working with. That all changes with the acquisition of the travel chair of Inokata. Azumet leaves the main lab, heading into the smaller side cabin where the travel chair sits. It is only a framework now, its plush cushions and wooden inlays rotted away long ago. But Azumet can still see those things in his mind's eye. Even back in his day, Inokata was long dead. But while Azumet led the scientific elite, the madman Quintelle and his faithful disciple Dolome had used the chair's power to escape from the planet of exile. The chair became a popular object of discussion, but remained out of reach on the planet of exile, guarded by the security construct known as the Laughing Array. Dolome was caught and sentenced to suspension. Quintelle escaped. Last Azumet knew in his old life, Quintelle was on the run, but still sending expeditions back to the planet of exile to try to retrieve the chair. It was a gamble, sending Alibi Jones in after you, Azumet says to the chair as he strokes the side of its metal frame. I knew the Laughing Array was somehow still working even after all these years, and even though it was no longer in orbit. But the mental defenses Jones threw up at me when I tried to penetrate his mind. Impressive. Stronger psionic potential than I have sensed in any other of these humans so far. Seemed a gamble worth taking. That brute Laveillur had already sentenced many of his people to madness and death, trying to get at you. How many expeditions did he send down there? A modern-day Quintele the Mad. Azumet feels his left wrist begin to twitch. It is an early warning sign. This current body is breaking down. Near time to once again transfer to a new body. He has been looking forward to the new skin. This new generation of bodies shows true promise for long-term habitation. As he stares at the travel chair of Inokata, this tangible thing in front of him, this evidence of the power and the technology of his once great people, Azumet makes his decision. It is time to trigger the Tachyon beacon. It is time to call the temporal wanderers out of the chaos of the time stream to this time. He will go into a new body, but he will do so with the first wave of those elite of the people who return from traveling through time. He smiles at what that will mean to so many. He will cannibalize the chair to build the Tachyon focusing array. The scale he needs to work on requires it. Azumet is running through plans, seeing schematics in his mind as he begins to strip the travel chair down for the needed parts. The ancient enemy will soon live again.
That was Chapter 20 of Alibi Jones and the Sunrise of Her on Glow-in-the-Dark Radio. Well, that was a glimpse into the machinations of a couple of bad guys, a couple of bad men in that chapter. Azumet, who was indeed the client after the travel chair, and Rene Laveillur. Laveillur is dangerous in his own ways, but Azumet may be the greater threat. What is he trying to accomplish anyway? What's going on with the Tachyons? We'll see what we can find out as Alibi Jones and the Sunrise of Her continues. We've got Chapter 21 coming up on our next episode of Glow-in-the-Dark Radio. Again, in book news, paperback prices are about to go up. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that is the news. So if you want to get print books, now may be the time to take advantage of what are the current prices before they go higher. August 1st is looking like the day they're all going to go up, so forewarned is forearmed or something like that. And thank you again to patrons who help me keep things going as prices continue to go up. If you'd like to find out more about becoming a patron, please go to patreon.com/glowinthedarkradio. And that is all for this week. I'm your host, your writer and reader, Mike Luoma. Thank you again for listening to Glow in the Dark Radio. Glow in the Dark Radio. This podcast presentation is copyright 2025 by Michael F. Luoma and is protected under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives 4.0 International License, CC by NCND 4.0. Music by Kevin MacLeod. You can find his work at Incompetech.com. Mike's books are available in ebook, paperback, and audiobook, wherever you find books online. Get links and more details at glowinthedarkradio.com and mikeluoma.com. This has been a presentation of Glow in the Dark Radio.